Hey, it looks like we are live. How we doing, people? Go ahead and chime in as soon as you log in, and let me know who's here, and let's see what's going on. Today we are going to be focusing on the comprehensive course on the capture and private galleries. So we're going to start with part one, which is private galleries, and part two is going to be really all over the capture app. So you'll want to tune in the next time to do that. So I'm going to give it a few minutes, let people kind of log in and see who's here. All right, we've got quite a few folks coming in. Christina, Mark, Dan, how we doing, buddy? Who's got the tacos? Yeah. All right, I could use some tacos right about now. So, all right, so, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen here. All right, this is a little complicated, but we'll get her going here. All right, so we're going to start the slideshow here so you can kind of see that. All right. So, private galleries, what are they? I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. So, private galleries is really a gallery type that we use here for keeping each subject into their own private access code. That means no one else gets to see their photos. So that's great for schools. It is very helpful for sports to gather that information and get a roster from the teams. Helps me build composites as well. I won't be going into that today, but we were going to talk about how this works just in general. We're going to go over all about data and how to get it, some of the roadblocks that are in the way, and some of the solutions we've got to get around those roadblocks. We're also going to talk about appending some data, and I'll take some questions at the end. Go ahead and chime in when you can, and we'll just keep on going. It's just me today. Lisa is down there in Florida, so they are all battening down the hatches. So it's just yours truly today. So, all right. We're going to just jump right into this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to create a private gallery. So I'm going to make this quite a bit larger. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and start. I'm going to hit new. I've already kind of typed some stuff in here. We're going to do Winter Park Elementary. It's an elementary school, and I've got a full roster and a gallery of images. So we're going to go ahead and name the gallery, or name the organization. I'm just doing PhotoDay School Sports because that's easy for me to manage. You have to have a picture day date. When you set up a job with us, you've got to set up a picture day date. Now, some of you are probably already asking, well, how did you get there? I'm new to all this. So when you go set up a job, you start new here, and we're going to get all the way through all that. You type in the amount of subjects being photographed. So that could be anywhere from 150, 200, 300. It could be just as easy as 50 kids. But go ahead and just guesstimate that. It's not necessary to add this portion because it's just giving our system some metrics to provide you some insight on number of percentage of people opting in, what your sales are based on the number of subjects. So for your job logo, this is pretty much standard through all of our jobs. You can add a job logo to this, and it goes on the marketing flyers that you send out manually through the marketing tab. And it can also be used on prints that have themes. So if you've got a template that has a theme, mainly Memory Mates, that has a spot for a logo, it can pull the logo from here if you allow it. I'm going to go ahead and skip that part. We don't really need that for this particular demo. But you do have to have a picture day date before you can set this up. Obviously, I've selected elementary school from our dropdown. Go ahead and select the right one for your job. Make sure that this is set up. It kind of helps us decide, what is being photographed and help us keep track of, products that we set up. I'm going to go ahead and hit create. Your time zone is going to be set up for your studio. I'm Central Time, so we're just going to go ahead and go with that. And then you can go ahead and set up your gallery. You got to pick a gallery type. We've got private gallery here. We're going to pick that one. The other two are very similar. The only difference between public and private is that this has an individual direct link or deep link that you can customize. But we're going to focus on the private. You can choose to expire your gallery if you'd like. If you do, there is a set of emails that go out, I think 7 days, 3 days, and the day of expiration. So right before it expires, they get another email and SMS campaign that goes out. And that's only through private galleries. So I'm going to go ahead and save. All right, so now we got to set up our storefront. I'm just going to go ahead and pick a couple of things that I've already got set up here. We'll talk about AdvancePay credits briefly. We're going to go ahead and grab a price sheet that I've already set up. I'm going to pick any one of these. I've got a demo here, right? We'll just pick that one. And since we're doing schools, we're going to go ahead and pick miscellaneous. That way it covers kind of a generic set of templates that tells the lab, these are the ones that I want to use for this school. If you're doing a preschool, you obviously have some preschool based templates, but if it's an elementary, you may not want to have, a little apple with the, letters and stuff on it. So those are just the templates that are going to be provided as a choice to your customers. So we'll hit save in a minute. We'll go over here to AdvancePay credit. I advocate AdvancePay credit for all private galleries simply because it allows parents that come in and want to see your products and packages. You allow them to be able to see that by making this an AdvancePay credit. So you need to set up an AdvancePay credit. These can be in as little as $5, increment and up $5 increments. I think the maximum amount, if I remember right, is $500 as a maximum credit. I'm not 100% sure on that. Somebody can chime in for me and let me know. That would be for if you're using it for a setting fee, but we're talking about basically schools here. So I want to give them flexibility. You can make as simple as a $10 AdvancePay credit, or you can have a range from $10, $20, and $30 or $40, or any range that you'd like. We can incentivize it by offering something like an AP credit. These are, excuse me, I knew that was going to happen. Sorry, guys, I'm still recovering from COVID last week. I'm going to grab one that says free ship. This one basically says right here at the bottom, $40 off, you get free shipping on orders off $40 or more. The limit is none because I haven't limited this to any other qualifiers in that AdvancePay credit setup. And then it doesn't expire. This is my own personal philosophy. This is not necessarily a best practice, but I don't expire AP credit offers that are applied to the AdvancePay. That way I don't have to go back in 3 months from now when a parent remembers to go purchase their photos. And then the AdvancePay credit that they bought no longer gets them that free shipping or whatever offer they decided. Because you're incentivizing them, you want that incentive to be available. That's my personal philosophy. There are others that have other ideas here. So, but then you can also collect the customer data, so you can require a first and last name to be added when they buy the AP credit. That way we can tie that credit to a specific subject. So, all right, I'm going to hit save here. And for some reason, my system is running a little slow today. I believe I had some issues last night that I wasn't aware of. I woke up to a kernel panic. So hopefully everything's going to work out right today. I'm just going to throw caution to the wind. All right. We're all talking about tacos. Man, you guys are making me hungry. Stop it. All right. We're going to go ahead and upload our subject data. That's the next part of this. You need to have some data. And so you're going to ask for that. And we're going to talk about how to get it before we add it here. So you need to ask for this data from your school, from your team, league, whatever you want to, wherever you're getting this information from. The required portions are you have to have a first and last name. So without that, you can't have a subject within the system. So first and last name are required. I recommend if you're doing schools, really get the student ID. Make sure you get a classroom or homeroom or whatever time frame they're going to come down to you in. So it could be first period, so you could add a period in there. Some way to organize and sort these photos eventually so that you can find them faster when you're checking them in with the Capture app. And I'll talk about that on our next webinar. So a lot of times you're going to get some resistance. And I know we've talked a lot about secretaries being the gatekeepers of the information. So you can get around this if they choose not to give you the information. If they choose not to give you parent emails, which is really helpful to do this using our marketing flyers. It's all built in, and it simplifies the process for both you and the organization that you're photographing. We tend to have issues with schools that don't want to give up that private information. They feel like they're keeping some sort of secret, but really, you are a trusted advisor with them. You are a partner. They've hired you to do a job. You are not some third party outside source. You are in their system. You are part of the school at this point. They've given you every piece of information except how to contact mom and dad. If they choose not to do that, I have a hard conversation with the decision maker, not the yearbook committee, not the PTA staff. I talk to the decision maker at the school, whether that's a district administration or the principal or vice principal. We sit down and have that conversation that says, listen, I can save you guys a lot of time if you provide me these emails. If not, we are going to send you a list. It's a PDF file that you're going to be able to print out. And excuse me, the list will be able to be sorted by classroom or period, which is once again why you need to have that other information to sort this in. And we can send this to you. You print it, send it out to the kids, and have the teachers give it to the kids in their classrooms. That's a lot of work, and there's a lot of failure points there. So the kid might not ever take it home. It might not make it into the right backpack. Once again, teachers have to do yet one more thing in their classroom that they don't need to deal with. It's paper, so it may get lost or crushed, and there can be some sorting issues. So it opens up a little bit of issue for them that they have to manage. But I also tell them, if I'm giving back to the school in any form for any product, so whether it's ID badges or a commission of any kind, my commission is based on the participation and ability to make sales. If I don't make any sales, I can't provide you this commission back. So what I do is I'll tell them that I need this information because you won't get much of a check if you don't. So we're partnered together. Your success and fundraising is tied to my success in sales. To make that easier and more efficient, let's just do this together. And a lot of times they just say, you know what, that makes total sense. Let's just go ahead and do it. That conversation is easier to have up front early. Don't do this the day before you're shooting and have a panic attack. Go ahead and talk to them well in advance, weeks, months in advance, to make sure you've got all the data you need. There's another way around that with the printing of the marketing flyers. Sorry, guys. This is going to be a little rough one, so bear with me. I was hoping to avoid this, but anyway, so we're talking about the flyers and printing them out. That's just one more step for them, as well as a lot more work on their staff. The other way around that is you can set up some sort of a form that they can send out a link to in their own email. If they won't give you the emails, they're going to have to send it out. They can attach it to whatever email they send out weekly or monthly. I know that we get one weekly through our school. So, and they've got a bunch of data that's all at the top. It tells you all about Picture Day. It tells you about, parent-teacher conferences. Those pieces of information are at the top of that email almost every time. Then the new stuff comes. So if they can put that link up there and have parents sign up for photos, you'll get a good portion of that data up front. You can also, on the fly, add people or add subjects to your database at the shoot. That's going to require you to make sure that you've got syncing enabled and that you're syncing live with your gallery. Anyway, those are just a few ways around getting that data. We've got a few other ways that are not necessarily 100% PhotoDay sanctioned, but there are other options to get those codes to the parents. So let's go ahead and upload a sheet here. Let's see what we got. All right, so there's the Winter Park data. So we've got student ID, which is already mapping. See, all of this, if it notices and recognizes these as your header for each column in your CSV, it will automatically map all of this. So it understands and knows that this is the student IDs. these have already been set up and formatted for this particular one. But if they weren't, say it just said student first name and it didn't recognize it and this was blank, you would go through here and tell our server that this column is first name. That's all we're doing when we say map your data. You're basically telling us what's in each column of your CSV and making sure that that lines up with the fields for the server, the database. That's really what we're talking about, is a database. So it looks like everything is mapped here. You can have up to 3 emails. And then, of course, there are multiple other options for data here. So you've got things like mobile phone. Now, that does not automatically include you into being able to send text messages. That has to be opted in. So even if you collect mobile phone numbers, you can't just willy-nilly send out text messages whenever you like. Email one's not mapped. Thank you. Yeah. So you've got period and homeroom. These are all things that can help you organize these images or these subjects into specific areas later on, especially if you're going to send out a PDF file to the school with a bunch of flyers. So we'll go ahead and map email to there. All right, so I've got all these mapped, and I'm just going to hit map. And what it's going to do is it's going to generate an access code for every single subject. I've already been logged in long enough today and I've already done a couple of demos, so it's not going to warn me about downloading the Capture app. But that is the next window that you would see right here in your face. It would say download the Capture app and tell you where to go. It'll work on Android, Google Play Store, as well as Apple iOS. So you can use tablets, you can use phones. They don't have to be the latest and greatest, but you'll get the best results with your capture images with the latest phones. So you've always got one with you. There's always a way to make this work. There's no extra hardware to purchase. So anyway, I'm going to hit done, and it'll take you back here, and it'll show you in this column that it's got all of the students right here. And then the next part of this is to upload some photos. Really, I guess for me, the next part before I ever photograph the job is I'm going to start sending out marketing flyers, which I think is a really important part of doing private galleries, is you've got to communicate to parents how to manage this. So we're going to put this into AdvancePay now that I have some subjects. It says, hold up, you're actually going to start sending out some emails here. So beware. This is going to start all of the automated text message and marketing campaigns. So be very careful when you do this. There's no going back. This is a tube out of the toothpaste moment. So we can't shove it back in there. We can't stop it. So beware when you do this that it will start the timer on sending out messages. So you can find out what those messages look like right here just by clicking on SMS and email campaigns. They are completely different and separate from the marketing flyers that you can send out yourself. This is an automated campaign, and these emails and SMS cannot be changed or edited at all. So those are the automated ones that go out with a private gallery. The marketing flyers, you can send those out whenever you want and schedule them. Let's see. No questions so far. And so I'm just going to go ahead and hit set to AdvancePay. So I do that before I go make marketing flyers. That way I don't forget to do this. And I have done that in the past where I've gone right up to the job day and went, why don't I have any AdvancePay credit? Well, I forgot to put it in AdvancePay. So it happens. That way I've got this done. We're going to go hit marketing flyers really quick, and we're going to create a new flyer. I like these AdvancePay flyers. They're well worded and do exactly what you want them to do. They are worded for exactly what we want them to get done. I like to add the modern vertical as my first one. This is just my deal, and anybody that's done a demo with me has seen me do this already. I go ahead and use a graphic that we have on some of our marketing materials inside our resources folder. We have some posters and as well as some banners and social media graphics and stuff. But in there, one of those posters has an iPhone graphic that already has some information on it. And it basically tells them everything right that they want to do right here, but it tells them visually. This helps clarify where to put the code versus where to put the short code phone number. So we get text messages from people all the time in the bubble saying, hey, I want to opt into my gallery. Here's the code. And it happens to be the short code phone number. So let me go ahead and hit upload real quick. I'll grab that out of my Dropbox. And should be the third one down. There it is. All right, so there's that graphic. Anybody that's seen our marketing materials have already seen this graphic, but it basically is just a visual. I call it the IKEA method of marketing. It's a visual way to tell them what you want them to do without having to read, because we all know parents aren't going to read more than about the first 10 words anyway. So we try to get this out there visually to make sure that it's easy for them to do. So I'm going to hit save on this. And so we're talking about data and not being able to get these marketing flyers, which are going to have individualized access codes for every student. So if you've got 300, 600, 800 students in a school, you don't want to have to print those out individually yourself. That is something on the school. If they're not going to give you that data, then that's responsibility for them. Once again, that's a conversation you're going to have way earlier in the year prior to doing pictures. So, but you can see right up in here at the top of this, there is another piece of data that is sorting data. Now you can come down here and tell it what sorting data you want to use. So I'm going to include all of them. So now it's going to sort them by grade as well as by teacher name. So if you have multiple second grade teachers, you make sure that this goes to the correct teacher to get it to the right kid. So this sorting data will show up right here at the top. So when they print out these flyers, that will be right there on the top and make it easier for them to sort a stack of 800 flyers so that they can be handed out to the school. So I'm going to hit save again because I made a change here. All right, so when you send these out to the organization, you go send flyers to the organization. We've got a pre-done set here. So I'm going to send it to everyone. I'm not going to have any options for filters. I want it to go to all people. And then right here, you've got your organization. So I'm going to send it to us. And that way it doesn't go to some school that I use. And then you just type in your subject email here and your subject line. And basically it says key to successful picture day is making sure that every parent knows exactly how to find their child's photos. Parents can get a jump on picture day by purchasing an AdvancePay credit for Winter Park Elementary. I've attached a unique flyer for each child that you can print and distribute. If you have any questions, please reply to this email and I'll get right back to you. Notice it says you can print. So I actually would love to see that in bold, but that's just me. So I'm not going to go ahead and send this because it'll just send it to support. And of course, we don't need any more emails there. All right. So that's the process of sending it. And then when you do, it'll put all of that sorting data right there. All right. So that's how to get these to your subject or to get your subject's access code to them. You've got email, you've got PDF file. You could also put up picture day of information on the school Facebook page. Obviously, you wouldn't include an access code because each one's individual, but letting parents know when photo day is happening, when their pictures will be taken, and kind of where to go to find their gallery information is very important. So you can tell them, be looking for an email from us or from the school with your child's access code or a flyer coming home in the backpack. But something that tells them how to find and what they're looking to expect. So communication is absolutely 100% of the success of gallery sales. So, all right, well, we got questions. Let's see here. So Gary says, yes, when you're at your dashboard, click on, let's see, I think I'm way ahead here. First and last name are required. You can also add email. So this is from Dan answering another question. Yeah, you can have that graphic. It's absolutely available right here under resources and marketing kit. And it is right here on this poster. It's also on, or that banner, it is also included on this poster. All you got to do is download that poster and save that layer. Just pull that layer out as its own graphic and then just save it out as its own file, which is all I did. So it's available right there. Go back to the job here. And there it is. All right. Looks like Dan's got me covered. Thanks, Dan. Let's see. Aaron says several of our sports leagues split photos over 2 days. In the initial job, you could only select 1 day, and that was loaded on the marketing material. Would multiple jobs need setup for multiple photo days? No, I would actually do, if it's over 2 days, Aaron, I wouldn't do it as separate jobs. That's just more marketing that you have to manage and more communication. Keep it under one job, but in the marketing materials, you have the ability here to create a modern horizontal graphic that for this particular thing, I'm going to have to delete it really quick and then upload another one. you can create a graphic that tells them pictures will be on this day and that day. Photos will be ready in a week or a week and a half or 2 weeks. You can kind of communicate just in that graphic at the top. So it's a full width graphic. It's 1200 by 545. I basically create a Photoshop template that just sits there. And when I need one, I just click on it. I open it up. It's got the basics in there. And then I will go ahead and add the information I want. I will theme it to match the school's colors, or add their logo or a background shot of their school, or whatever it takes to get their attention. And then, of course, if I am adding an AdvancePay credit with $40 or more, orders over $40 or more, then I will also create a call to action. I'll say something like, who doesn't want free shipping? That'll usually get parents to stop scrolling and look at this thing. So, yeah, I don't advise that. But if you're doing it over several weeks, then I would definitely do one job per shoot. That way you're releasing photos in a timely fashion. That is going to create more work for you to manage and market, but it's not unmanageable at all. It's fairly easy. So let's see. Yep. All right. So Dan's already got you covered. All right, folks. So I'm going to go ahead and upload some photos here. Let's hope this works. I just downloaded these again for the, ninth time. I couldn't find them. I moved a hard drive around the other day, and I just lost where I downloaded stuff. So I think I've got them in here under Winter Park. Yeah, we're going to have fun. Where is it? Downloads. That's why I'm not finding it. Well, that ought to be fun. Let's see if it's on the desktop. All righty. Well, there's a fast track demo. How about that? We do a fast track today. Yeah, this is usually where demos go off the rails for me if I don't put things in the right place. Yeah, we're not finding it. That's awesome. Should be that folder right there. Oh, it's called Images 3. That's why. All right, so that's why. Cool. It's actually in downloads. All right, so that train wreck's done. So I'm going to upload these to the site. So we're going to talk about this later, but we're going to do next week capture. We're going to go through the entire capture process and how you're going to manage these in here. I may not go ahead and map this out so that we can save that for next week. What's going to happen here is that I believe that since these have already been taken, I believe that this is data that's been used in another gallery. So I think it's going to automatically map these as their reference file. So we can talk about how to reuse images. So I guess we'll just try it and see what happens. This may work or may not work. All right, so it's uploading here. All right, we're just about done. Thank God for fast connections, right? Okay, any other questions in the chat over here? Nope, we're good. Okay, processing the photos. Now it's showing them all as unmatched, obviously, because I haven't taken any reference photos. We're going to go through the Capture app next week, and I'll show you how to manage that. We'll talk about some data and how to repurpose this data. So when you have all of these images mapped and they are all set up here with your Capture reference photos, and then they've got their list of images here. So it's still looking for a reference photo. I haven't mapped that yet. I'll manage that for next week. But when you do an export, to edit or reuse the data from, say, a school job you did last year. You'll be able to do an export using our exports right here. And then under exports, you'll create a new export. And we're going to call this one 2021. Just call it 2021. Of course, I didn't type well. All right, Winter Park 2021. You're going to select your subjects. Now, right now, there's nobody with photos, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this anyway. It won't let me follow through unless I've got photos mapped as well as this done. So let's go ahead and just, we're going to set everybody, and we're going to group by grade, just for fun. The export type you're going to want to select to reuse is going to be service items. Now, that's because it is going to give you the ability to download the photos with that capture data so that you can re-upload it, and then it will know that the images that you've downloaded relate back to the capture images for the gallery for the next gallery. So when you create a new gallery, after you've created this service item export, you're going to get a folder that has the images in it, as well as a CSV file that includes the image file that's related. So when you upload it, it automatically becomes the captured app reference photos. So you would select service item. And then, of course, you would select the primary photos. The way to do that is you can just select the featured photo using the star rating if you wanted to do it manually. Or you can do first captured or last captured. Or you can do it by, specific names. So say you named your file something special for the specific yearbook photo or whatever you want to use as the capture reference. First captured is usually pretty good. But this is a place this is kind of handy. You can customize your file names here. I wasn't really going to talk about this, but with this export, you can actually append or add to your file names. So you can have a hyphen or an underscore. You can say, yearbook. And then you'll see there are no photos, obviously, to select. So it's going to have the image file number, hyphen, and then whatever you've typed in up there. So yearbook, grade, whatever. It won't let me do it because there are no images to match. So it's kind of, but you can make a string however long you'd like of all of this data. I'm not going to go ahead and do this right now. So, but the last part is setting the crop. I don't have images to crop, so I can't show you that. But it is just basically you set the crop to either 640 by 480 or one of the defaults of 1:1. So there's basically square. I believe there is 2 others in this crop, but that's just a simple crop. You select where you want that image cropped, and that will be the export. It takes time to export, so these will end up being, it'll probably take maybe 5 to 10 minutes sometimes depending on the size of and the number of images in your gallery. It can take that long just to collate all those and download them. So you'll get a link and you'll download those directly to your computer, and then you'll be able to re-upload them into a new gallery. Anyway, so dashboard here. All right, any other questions? Yes, Sean, there is a new export, and you found it. It's in there. It's called composites, and we're going to be doing a little blurb about it, and I've been working on some videos to help make sure that goes smoothly. But yes, it exports every subject into each row that SPA needs to run, SPA being Sports Photo Automator. So yes, we created one. Anyway, so any more questions? We can go ahead here and I'll go back to the, let's go quit sharing here. And back to the slideshow. It's not letting me do the slides. All right, so well, are we seeing any of this? I'm not sure if I got this presented properly now. So there, now I got it. All right. Sorry, guys, I'm not familiar with Webinar Jam. Took me a second there. So we're going to cover more on the Capture app, sorting, filtering, all of that stuff, and best practices on how to manage those reference images, how to take them, lighting and all of that for it. We'll talk about all that next time. I'm open for questions at this point. So anybody got any more questions about this part of a private gallery? Register for part 2 here. Thank you very much. It's like my little guardian angel over there prepping stuff for me. I believe that's Wes helping me out here. So everybody say hi to Wes. He's the voice of PhotoDay. Anyway, so capture is going to be part 2. We're going to go over all of that stuff I just talked about, all of the things you need to know about how the capture works, all of the features inside capture, everything from sorting to filtering, adding subjects, as well as marking them absent, all kinds of features in there that are very handy to help you speed through your day. All right. So if that's it, I got plenty of time for questions, but we'll talk about pricing. As always with PhotoDay, there is no upfront fees. There is nothing. It's free to use, free to set up, free to start an account, all the way up to the point where you publish a gallery. You can publish a gallery and not even have to pay a dime. We only make our money off of your sales, so we are vested in your success. So the more you make, the better off we are. So that's all I like to say about that. It's 10% is a transaction fee on the subtotals. So really, plus you've got your 2.9% transaction fee through Stripe. But that's pretty much standard across the board with all credit card transactions. So there's no lab bills. We pay the lab bill right out of the order for each order. There's no minimum orders, so you don't have a lab minimum. Most of them usually have a $15 or $20 lab minimum to order using their volume and bulk pricing. So our bulk products. Everything that you see here is included. We've got a lot of services that are available, and it's amazing value for the fact that you don't have to pay anything until you start selling. So get out there and sell, people. Upload sellable images. That's what Dan's got to say, and I totally agree there. Image is king with gallery sales, so the better your images, the more likely you are to have great sales. Aaron says, for composites, would you upload all finished options? You don't have to upload finished options, image button, all of that. They can create inside the ordering system. Those products will be able to have the image seen inside them. So if it's a button, they'll be able to crop their image to the button size. But just in case someone orders, so you want to upload a finished product. You want to upload a finished composite or a finished image to PhotoDay. So I liken this to it's your images are your inventory. So if you don't have anything up there, people can't buy anything. So if you like soup and you go to the store and you're wanting tomato, but all they've got is cream of chicken. Are you going to buy cream of chicken? Probably not, because it's not your favorite. You go find something else to buy. So you really need to have a good variety of soup in your store. That's Brian's soup analogy. So anyway, so let's see. Yep, Dan's got the webinar for introduction to knockouts. That's another good one to watch. So other than that, thank you guys for joining me today. I'm going to do part 2, I believe in a week, either a week or 2. Anyway, so what else Aaron got to say? All orders are individually shipped, or can you have a cutoff date for all orders? So, Aaron, that's the difference between drop ship and bulk ship. And right now, bulk shipping is only offered through Miller's, and it has to be set up as a separate price sheet. So when you go through your price sheet setup, you have to make sure that you select bulk shipping as your option. You can set the date in there for how long you want them to hold them, up to 30 days, I believe. And then once all the orders hit that date, they're all put into one box and shipped either directly to you or to your organization, whoever you've set to be that recipient of that. Yeah, you can do a bulk plus. You can do bulk plus drop, which I believe is bulk shipping for anybody that doesn't want to pay shipping, and then drop shipping is for everyone else that doesn't want to wait 30 days to get their photos. So you can do that as well. No, Aaron, keep asking questions. That's what I'm here for. So as long as I'm answering them, we're good to go. So, Gary, you're welcome. Not a problem anytime. We are here. So once again, if you need us, hit us up in the bubble. We are here most of the time, and a lot of us work a little extra and answer questions in our user group as well. Don't go there for tech support because we won't be able to help you. We really need to get into your account or be very specific. So, but our user group is also a great resource. There's a lot of users that are very helpful and can answer a lot of your questions just based on their own experience. So don't forget our user group. And if you haven't signed up for that already, then go ahead and do that. And that should be your best non-bubble source of information. So, all right, guys, I'm going to cut this off because I'm starting to ramble. Any more questions, go ahead and hit us up on the bubble, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care now. Bye-bye.